Today is all about Molex plugs and how I use them for my air ride switch for quick disconnect.
Let's go off when I enter the building.
Alright guys, so Molex plug. Computer guys know what this is. It's a little plug. It clips together. Pretty simple, easy disconnect. What this end does is you drill a hole roughly this size. I'm going to do it my center console. It's easy to get to. And you take all the wires you need. These little pins. You can see these are not. These little pins in here. Put the wire in here. These little ends right here crimp around the wire, the casing. And this part right here crimps around the wire itself. And these two just slide together. And they both slide inside the little casing in here. So you can connect and disconnect. Similar to what's on a motherboard of a computer or the power supply, same idea. But that's a Molex connector. Alright, so with these little connectors, I don't know if you guys can see it too well. When you put them in here, the wire goes in like this. You have a piece of stripped back wire. Some spare wire is going to show you. You don't need it that long though. That goes in there like that. So the casing is going to be crimped on by this. And then the wire sits inside there. And you can crimp it on there. And then once you get that crimped on, you take your connector piece and just slide it in, and then it locks into place, and then you have yourself a plug. So then you can disconnect and reconnect as many times as you want to, not worry about untaping, unsoldering, whatever you plan on doing. And even if you use a spade connectors, you gotta unplug each one at a time. Where this one here, you can plug in all of it and then plug it all back in and not worry about is it the right one, is it the right color, all that stuff. Alright, so taking my center console out, mine actually comes in two pieces. So I take screws out to get the bottom piece off of the center console, which is where I'm gonna put my plug at. You gotta find a suitable spot under here where you want the plug to be mounted. Fairly easily accessible, so if you have to take it out, you can. It makes it simple. So what I'm going to do now is take the end that's going to be put inside the center console piece, lay it on here about where I want it to be. I'm thinking right about here is good, and then just trace around with the marker so you know where to cut. Give you a rough idea of where it's going to be. See right there? Just cut the hole out, and you probably have to adjust a little bit more to fit this in there just right. But now you just got to cut it out. You can either use a razor knife, you can use a Dremel tool. I'm going to use a Dremel tool with a little plastic blade on it to cut this out, and then just fine tune it with a file to fit this in here, because it's got little tabs on here that will hook in there and hold it in, so you can unplug and plug in the other side. Alright, so here's the Molex plug inside the center console. As you can tell, it's in the center console, and this just kind of clips in like that. You just release it, and you can take your air ride controller right out of the car. Next, I got to wire up the little connectors and put the pins inside the plug, and then I'll have a removable connector for my air suspension. Alright, so here it is. The connector's all wired up. Looks just like a computer type connector. this part's going to go in the center console, and all it does is just clip together. And when you're done, little button, disconnect. And that is for my air ride switches. That way they have a quick disconnect. You don't have to worry about at shows or anybody hitting the switches while you're at a show, or someone reaches in, or even when you work on the car you can disconnect this so you don't sit on the switch box, or someone bump the switch box and have the switches go off while you're working on the car, which is can get kind of crazy sometimes.
Alarms go off when I enter the building.